Haiti is in the Caribbean, on the western side of the island of Hispaniola, which it shares with the Dominican Republic. Port-au-Prince is the capital. Haiti's landscape is mostly mountainous, volcanic in origin, with a tropical climate tending to be drier to the north. The vegetation is luxuriant and benefits from the two seasons, one dry, the other rainy. The latter is unpredictable, however, and cyclones often strike the island. Despite its favourable climate, Haiti has been unable to develop agriculture to a point where it is adequate for its population's needs. Its history is marked by colonialism. Discovered by Christopher Columbus on the 6th of December 1492, Haiti became independent from European domination at the beginning of the 1700s. Inequality and tensions amongst the people have opened the way over the last 2 centuries to economic domination by foreign countries. This is why Haiti has not yet developed its own democratic regime or economic self-sufficiency. It is calculated that 80% of the 9 million inhabitants of Haiti live below the poverty line. Recent data revealed that unemployment runs at 70% and that life expectancy is decidedly low. There is a high birth rate, but infant mortality is also high. There is business and exchange, but hunger remains. The road running through Port-au-Prince from the north to the south or vice versa carries a lot of traffic. It is busy day and night, when it is possible to travel by night. One can see many people on foot. People live more on the streets than in their homes, since there is little room at home, and they do not have room enough to live inside. So they say that the street is their classroom for learning about life. Foreign NGOs and religious institutions are involved in welfare and health, school and technical education of the many young people. They attempt to involve local institutions in forming the new generations. The Salesians, too, are there. They came to Haiti in 1935 and today have 9 communities. They operate schools, technical formation centres, oratories, parishes. Here, young people receive human and Christian education and learn a trade. The Salesians face many challenges. If the past saw political events and a dictatorship getting in the way of achieving their good work, today it is poverty and sheer need which calls on Salesian involvement. The works run by the Sons of Don Bosco include reception centres for street children. Children are accepted into well-targeted projects so they can be helped to grow and develop in human and Christian terms. And if we do not do this, at the moment there is nobody else to do so. I was in my office. I was in my room. I had just got there and I was preparing the community meeting that was to take place half an hour later. We went into the city to do an exam on the Haitian education system. The office began shaking. There were 25 students in the classroom. They raced to the door to get out. I immediately found myself under the rubble and immediately knew it was an earthquake. Everything was falling. I launched myself towards the door and then found myself surrounded by walls, pillars falling. It was all shaking, and immediately, almost as a natural reaction, I kept my head down, and black. The jolting was getting even stronger. I kept still for a moment to get an idea of what was happening. All of a sudden, the whole building collapsed, and I found myself under the rubble. I was there for about 15 minutes. I recall having heard people crying out. I imagine there were 1 million people shouting. Their cries stayed with me for many days, day and night. The 2-story residence had collapsed. I was on the 2nd floor, so it was easy to get out, because now I was on the ground floor. I started looking for a way to get out and found an exit. I called for help and afterwards was able to save around 15 students, while the rest were under the rubble. There were 6 Salesians amongst them, of whom 2 died. I spent 5 hours under the rubble, and during these 5 hours, I reflected on the meaning of life. The importance of time is what I learned from this experience. God wants me to do something for Him and gives me more time to be converted.
Il m'a accordé le temps de me convertir.
Now I can imagine what the end of the world is like.
La fin du monde.
News of the earthquake, which struck Haiti on the 12th of January 2010, spread quickly.
One of the most stunning developments, Haiti's prime minister telling CNN that he believes the quake has taken hundreds of thousands of lives, destroying or damaging all of Port-au-Prince.
L'épicentre, très proche de la ville, a engendré une secousse de magnitude 7 dévastatrice.
The number of victims and estimates of damage grew day by day, along with a sense of impotence.
The international rescue teams continue to pull survivors from the rubble. Orlando Salinas is live at the Port-au-Prince airport.
The Salesians suffered serious damage, collapse or cracks in all works. More tragic still, however, was the loss of human lives. Brother Hubert Sanon, 2 young Salesians in formation, Atsime Wilfred and Vibron Valsan, and around 250 boys from the small schools of Father Bonnen remained under the rubble. Many other students from Salesian schools and members of the Salesian family died amidst the collapsed buildings, churches or workplaces. The Rector Major and his councillors, who were gathered in Rome for their plenary session, got in touch with confrères in Haiti despite initial difficulties. Salesians from the Antilles province, Santo Domingo, immediately got involved.
A raíz del terremoto de Haití,
Following the earthquake in Haiti, I received a call from the Rector Major in Rome, and he asked me to be with the Salesians affected by the earthquake as soon as possible. This was also my intention as soon as I heard of the earthquake. On the second day after the earthquake, I was able to fly to Haiti by helicopter. The impression on entering the city was horrible, tremendous, one of enormous chaos. You could still hear people crying out from under the rubble. Solidarity from the Salesian world, thanks to a letter from Father Chavez, was immediately felt. Provinces, mission offices, benefactors responded generously. The new Rochelle Mission and Development Office was charged with the task of coordinating early assistance, along with the Salesians from the Antilles. The Rector Major wanted to be there with the Salesians and the people of Haiti, so they would know that the congregation was with them as brothers in solidarity. On the 12th of February, 1 month after the terrible earthquake, he arrived in Port-au-Prince. The sight of the city from the helicopter gave him his first tragic view of things as they really were. Accompanied by the new superior of the Vice Province, Father Sylvain Ducange, and his predecessor, Father Jacques Charles, the Rector Major visited the Salesian works and the city. The scene which the earthquake left behind after 28 seconds has shaken the city and opened a new and tragic page in the history of Haiti.
There were 2 floors here, 2 floors reduced to nothing.
The National School of Arts and Trades in Port-au-Prince, known as ENAM, almost entirely razed to the ground, was his first stop.
There was another part of the school here with 3 floors. Look at what it has been reduced to. Here they found 150 bodies of our pupils, students, teachers. Through our educative and evangelizing presence, we have to help a change of mindset. Natural disasters can always happen, but there is no doubt that where it happens there is a need for a greater civil responsibility, greater commitment on everyone's part so we can be able in the first place to guarantee life, give more quality to our own lives too.
Here, area, while the civil protection authorities and Italian army were trying to clear the rubble. The Rector Major prayed at the place where some children were buried and at the pile of rubble where the bodies of some victims still lay.
Vamos a pedirle al Señor que los llene de una vida que no pudieron gozar, que los llene sobre todo de luz y de esperanza y de futuro.
The youth centre too, parish and attached schools of Father Bonin in Cité Soleil were not spared.
This was the youth center. Imagine what it means in an area like this. It was a social lung, and now it makes you see the significance of centers like this. It's not so much the walls, but the role it was playing.
The Vice Province Centre at Drouillard, recently built, is unusable. Here too, as in all our works, the Salesians are sleeping in tents. At Fleuriot, the post-novitiate and the centre of studies open to other religious orders are beyond repair.
Look, there were 2 floors there. See, look at the pillars.
The technical school at Gressier, badly damaged by the earthquake, will need to be completely rebuilt. At Toulon, a suburb of Port-au-Prince, Father Chavez visited the pre-novitiate. Here 2 walls of the large gymnasium have fallen, and a 3-storey building, the youth centre, has fallen in on itself. Port-au-Prince city, a month from the earthquake, is still a story of pain and suffering for Haitians. Going along the street, you see people wandering aimlessly like zombies, not knowing where to go, what to say, what to think. Hunger and thirst are in abundance. People also do not want to speak.
La gente casi no quería hablar nada.
Very soon after all this loss, they underwent a feeling of impotence and anger too. Help did arrive after a week, but had it been coordinated, they would still have found people alive under the rubble. One person was 26 days under the rubble and was found alive.
This is a pressing invitation for us to learn, in the first place, how to read a God who speaks through history's events and what is, more or less, our responsibility in them. It is an invitation to believe in a God of life and create circumstances that foster life. I sincerely hope that this can be an occasion for the country's rebirth, for refounding our Salesian presence and collaborating in building a world that can give greater hope and future to this country. After seeing it up close, knowing how many bodies are still under the rubble, all I can do is stand here in silence.
The Rector Major's visit was not limited to looking at rubble. Despite the precariousness and difficulties of the situation, the Salesians gave Don Bosco's successor a warm, even serene welcome. Since, as Father Sylvain Ducange put it when welcoming Father Chavez, Don Bosco's sons are characterized by cheerfulness. We are driven by optimism and believe in the rebirth of the Haitian people and the refoundation of the Salesian charism in our country. Haiti must be reborn, the Rector Major said many times as he visited the various works, meeting Salesians, lay people, youngsters. A message of hope that, without ignoring the dramatic scene, invites everyone to get involved personally in rebuilding and relaunching the country. The Salesian contribution to rebuilding, and especially for Haiti to get on its feet again, requires the participation and commitment of the state, local church and the people, to move from simply being resigned to being active on their own behalf.
This was the football field. Now it is a camp for the people.
A first step has been taken by taking in people who have lost everything in the earthquake into our works.
Pasan los años y está más joven. Hey, Gabriel.
At Tolan, Pétionville, Delmas, Cité Soleil, camps have been set up thanks to cooperation also from civil protection authorities and the Salesian sisters.
Et à partir du 12 janvier, nous avons pu nous mettre en branle pour pouvoir.
From the 12th of January onwards, we were able to get moving to help people who were homeless. Here, in Pétionville, there are 200 families, meaning more than 1,600 people, and we give whatever we can to be with them during this time of emergency. At Toulon, there are 2,000 families, around 12,000 people, young and adults. The Salesians have got themselves moving, despite the collapse of 5 of their houses. Damage to the others, meaning they have to be pulled down. Visiting the works at Fort Liberté and Gracier allowed the Rector Major to complete the picture of the situation and have the necessary elements for suggesting a reorganization of the Salesian presence in Haiti. There were various meetings over the 4 days. Father Chavez agreed with the Vice Province Council on steps to be taken. The priority is to get the schools and youth centres going where they are still usable. Care and education of the young is the first contribution the Salesians can offer to create a new culture in the country. Meeting with the Salesian family at the Eucharist and sharing became a festive moment where they felt the encouragement to re-establish civil, social and Salesian life in Haiti. The visit to the Salesian Sisters' Provincial House was a time for sharing and happiness. The Provincial, Sister Marie-Claire Jean, led the Rector Major in a meeting with the orphan girls who live at the centre and the Salesian Sisters in Haiti. Father Chavez also left them with concrete things to do.
You have awareness, a heart, and many qualities. You have people who love you.
There were also important meetings with those running the Italian humanitarian mission, involved in clearing up the rubble at Enam, with the president of the Episcopal Conference, Archbishop Louis Quebro, the Archbishop of Cap-Haïtien, and with the Apostolic Nuncio in Haiti. Speaking with Archbishop Augusto Bernardito, the Rector Major re-emphasized the Salesian commitment to collaborating with the local church. Rebuilding and relocating the study center at Fleuriot, appreciated for its service to formation to religious life, is a concrete sign of this. The Rector Major's visit finished on the 15th of February with a meeting with all Salesians from the Vice Province. Father Chavez left them with concrete tasks to be done for rebuilding and relocating the works, but invited the Salesians to be more deeply rooted and authentic in their own vocation in order to be credible witnesses. Called to sense where history is at, able to perceive the needs and problems of people and society. Morning watchmen able to expect and foster the birth of a new era for the country and be prophets to proclaim the word of the Lord. Salesians must be signs of God's presence amongst the people of Haiti. There is no doubt that rebuilding and relaunching the Salesian charism is work that will involve Salesians and the Salesian family for a long time to come. The change of mindset required and commitment to effective education will involve energy, availability and resources. We are committed to following up the Rector Major's appeal to bring about a new Haiti. Haiti has to be brought back to life, and at the same time we are here to rebuild this great work that Haiti deserves, together with the entire congregation and the church. International agencies have estimated that the earthquake in Haiti caused the death of some 200,000 people. 150 bodies have been found. 1 million children were orphaned. 200,000 people have had limbs amputated. 1 million people are homeless. Around 8,000 people have sought refuge in reception centres. 90% of the schools in Port-au-Prince were destroyed or seriously damaged. But rebuilding is not enough. Haiti has to be born again. Let us not forget the people of Haiti. The Salesians are with them.